one of the things we've been asked about is what is our warm-up routine before we play a match? So I think it starts with having stretched. We've talked about that in a previous tip, but assuming you're all stretched out and ready to go, you want to be actively listening and near the court. So I have friends that have been defaulted because they were off doing who knows what.
Yeah.
Got to the court late.
And you only have 7 minutes or 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
So you don't want to waste any of that time.
No, and it's a disaster for you, mainly your partner, if you miss the
and then
call.
you're thinking about how you were late,
right?
Or your partner was late,
so
you're not ready.
Part of this is getting on the court as early as possible. One other benefit to getting on early is one of our principles is cross-court dinking. So we'd prefer you to get out there before your opponents and warm up your dinks first when you have the court to yourself by hitting some cross-court dinks in a point-like situation where you're actually moving and playing. We'll show you in a minute kind of what that looks like, but basically get out there first and do that while you can. And then we like the cooperative volleys, starting by warming it up. We'll do the faster volleys a little later after we're fully warm. But basically, one of you then would back up after you've done a few volleys and got that control down, you're feeling it, the paddle. Hit some drops and drives, then switch, the other person comes up and they hit drops and drives, you do now, you're back. And then what we want you to do
Maybe
is...
a few overheads in there. If you
yeah,
want to
throw
warm
up a few
your
lobs, warm up your shoulder real good. Step back into the middle of the court, what we call a transition zone, and have your partner hit a few at your feet. So you're trying to really get low, get those reset shots, which is the toughest shot, but you need to warm it up and practice it. Once you're done there, sometimes the referee will call you in and you decide on sides, and sometimes not, but either way, make sure you ask the referee, hey, would you tell me when there's 2 minutes left in our warm-up so that you can get some actual good serves and returns in? Ideally, you get to play them out a little bit, little skinny singles.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been off the court for a while. Yeah. You want to get your blood flowing, or
I think a lot of times what happens is you use the entire warm-up time for your dinks and drops and all the other shots, and maybe you have like 20 or 30 seconds for, hit a couple serves and returns, and then you're done. But you don't really feel confident or warmed up on those shots. So you're gonna hit those shots almost every point. At least the serve, somebody's gonna hit it every point, right? So you wanna make sure that's in your warm-up routine too, for sure.
Absolutely.
As well as a little bit of everything else like we talked about.
Yeah, and then one other thing I like to do is to trade sides with your partner, especially if there's a significant amount of sun, like we have today, or wind, so that you get a feel for both sides of the sun and wind scenario. But sometimes if the wind's blowing, as you guys know, it can be a whole different world on the other side of the net. So try to warm up on both sides if at all possible.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be ready for anything that comes your way if you've been able to have that extent of a warm up. Okay, so we've just been called for the match. We're out early before our opponents. So we're gonna work on a cross-court dinking real quick, just to get that, because that's where we want you to dink. We want to practice it, but we're comfortable moving each other. And with all the potential balls that we're going to get, we're good and warmed up. So that's pretty much what we do for the cross-court dinking.
And we really don't want to just kind of get it back in play here. We really want to move each other around,
right?
Just like a game-like scenario, so we're getting the practice that we want.
Exactly. Make them take a step or two, make it awkward, so that we're actually warming up in a game-like situation. Then we'll move to our cooperative volleys, where we're just getting a feel for the ball, trying to take it out of the air.
Paddle way out front, and we just try to get it back under control, get it low.
Getting used to those low balls, keeping it low. After that, more aggressive, just rapid fire volleys.
Trying to keep that same form as the control volleys, just when it starts to speed up. We don't want to start going wild and getting out of control.
So again, we're just warming up, trying to keep it low, a little more on the ball. And basically getting ready for some rapid fire points. After we've warmed that up really good, one of us will scoot back, the other stays at the net, so we feed drops and drives. I'm trying to keep it deep for him so he has tough balls and he can hit drives or drops. But basically it's like a game type scenario where these are not easy balls. Wow, I lost that in the sun. Thanks.
Yeah, so then we would switch. I would come up and my partner would go back. This isn't a real warm up.
We'll practice moving my feet, some drops.
I try to practice staying up here and volleying, not scooting back.
We're getting a good workout. After we've hit a few of those and I'm comfortable, I may hit him a few lobs, and vice versa, warm up his overhead. And then I'll try driving those, working my way back in, stopping here in the mid-court where I'm working on my reset. He's gonna blast at my feet. I'm gonna try to keep it unattackable. And I'm actually, go ahead and move into the ball. Trying to get some actual game-like scenarios going. After that, I'll feed him. He moves back into the neutral zone. I feed him some. And we're getting an actual feel for game-like speed in this scenario. 2 minutes left. Depending on how we're feeling, we may do little skinny singles or just hit serve and returns. Let's say we've been sitting and we need a little more blood flowing. We're gonna go ahead and play a couple points out. Good shot. So I'm gonna do, he'll serve one this time. I'm making, see, we're really moving now. I mean, that's like playing a real point. So now our blood's flowing, we're breathing hard, we're sweating a little bit. We're ready. Now a couple more serves and returns only without playing them out, just to make sure we're getting balls deep. He'll hit 3 or 4, I'll hit 3 or 4. Now we're switching it. Here I go. Okay, and then one more. So we are ready to roll now. That's our pre-match warm-up. We're breathing hard, we're sweating a little bit, our blood's flowing, and we are ready to rumble. If this is helpful and you want more of the best pickleball instruction, most systematic that you can get, check into our Pickleball Masterclass by clicking the button below. You'll have access to all 66 of our videos with all the online demos, drills, games, everything we've got. You can watch over and over again in the comfort of your home. So to click and gain access to it, just click on the button below and we'll see you on the inside.